Happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of FilmSpeak Live. Thank you all for joining me. I am Griffin, as always, your host here. And if this is your first time checking out the channel, consider subscribing to it. We do these live Q&As every Saturday. And then we also have great content, movie reviews, interviews, all that good stuff. We like to say that the conversation continues after the credits here. So this is one of those ways that conversation about our favorite movies continues. So I'm sorry for the delay here. There was a little bit of technical difficulties, a lot of lag on my end, but I think we got everything up and running. And so hopefully it's as smooth a show as we can have. But again, start letting me know your questions down in the chat below. We'll pick some questions. We'll answer them. If you want your question answered immediately, the super chat option is available to you, but it is not required. As always, I like to do these shows with some great friends, and I'm joined by two amazing guests today. But let's introduce our first guest, Mr. Tyler Tompkins. He's back. I thought you left for a little bit, man. I thought you were never going to make an appearance on here again because I said something to insult you, but you're back. You're returning. How are you doing?
It's been such a long time, man.
I know. It has been a little while.
Now my Saturday feels right. It feels right again.
It feels right again? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, and then Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm glad everyone has been like clamoring for your hot takes. So we're ready to hear them whenever whenever they come up.
Let's do it.
Anyways, and then I'm also joined by my great friend and colleague, Amy from the Movie Checklist. Amy.
Hello.
Yes. Hey, how's it going? It's great to finally have you on here.
Yes, I'm so excited. This actually was like a way for me to get up and do something for once in quarantine. I have not gotten ready in 5 months.
Honestly though, like same. I mean, like the whole like running gag on these streams is that I do them in a tank top, and guys, like everyone thinks that I just do it purposefully, but I'm like, no, I just get out of bed and flip on a camera. So that's why I'm wearing this.
Yeah.
So I can relate.
Yeah, I actually like got up and was like, you know what? This is an excuse for me to take care of myself this morning.
There you go. And you have your coffee bean. You're ready to go. You're ready to talk some movies. It's great. I think I also have coffee beans. So team coffee bean over there. Are you more of a coffee bean person or a Starbucks person?
It depends on where I am. Like my old office, we were by coffee bean, so I'd go get coffee bean. But my new office is by Starbucks. So this is actually Keurig. I think the pod was a Starbucks pod, so I'm a Starbucks pod today.
Starbucks pod today. All right. Well, this episode is brought to you by Starbucks pods. So there you have it. Guys, before we go any further, we're going to start talking about some of the stuff that we've been watching lately. I think we're going to do like a quick review of Greyhound because I haven't actually reviewed it on the channel yet. But before we dive into Greyhound, just like across the board, what have you guys been watching lately? Starting with you, Tyler.
Yeah. So right now I'm going, in terms of new movies, I'm behind on everything, man. It's just been really busy lately. But I watched Greyhound last night, so I would say that's probably the newest one. And just like in terms of other movies, going through the Mission Impossible movies again, because one of my roommates hasn't seen any of them, so that's a lot of fun. And I just watched all the Transformers movies like in the span of 2 weeks.
What are you doing?
They're awesome.
What are you doing?
I just like it's funny rewatching them. I kind of put it off because everyone always hates on them, and I haven't seen them like multiple times. But man, I love them.
All of them, even.
I mean, last night like it's the weakest one, but like I really enjoyed the first four. I really enjoyed them.
I don't think I've seen past two.
You should watch at least three. Three's really good.
Well,
3 is like really good.
If you're like into the stupid Bayhem Formers thing, then three's a great place to end it because 4 and 5, I had a physical reaction to watching 5. I'm not even kidding. I had a migraine headache. I drove home in a fit of anger and ranted to my friend over the phone for about like probably the length of the movie. It was such an unpleasant experience, and it was, oh my God, I'm so done with the Bay Transformers films.
I used to be obsessed with the first Transformers movie because my best friend loves Shia LaBeouf, so we would watch it all the time. But I used to own that movie. I don't know where it is. It's not in my. It got lost in the move out to LA, so it's somewhere in the ether. But I haven't watched that movie in probably a solid 10 years.
Wow,
you should rewatch them.
Yeah, the first one's the first one's fun. I'll give him that. But well, Tyler, already we're not even. I don't know. We're like 5 minutes into the scene. You're already
Everyone hates 2, but I think it's awesome.
Oh my god, killing me. But yeah, Amy, what have you been watching outside of Greyhound?
I watched Greyhound last night. I did watch Palm Springs last night too.
Yes.
Obsessed. I love it
good.
so much. I'm probably gonna watch it again tonight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch The Old Guard. I haven't watched that yet.
I haven't seen that either. Yeah, I've been wanting to check that out. Yeah.
I started the Babysitter's Club last night too. I got through like 4 or 5 episodes. It's pretty nostalgic for me, but it's really cute. It's definitely more for a younger audience, but it's fun. It's a very modern take on it. And then, like Tyler, I rewatched an entire series of movies that I had never seen before. I watched the entirety of X-Men for my podcast.
Wow.
We watched the first X-Men for the podcast, and then I was like, you know what? I'll watch all of them. So I watched literally all of them, including Origins Wolverine.
Why would you do that to yourself? Oh, that's not.
But it was a movie. It was like a series that my friends were like, "Why haven't you watched this yet? You love superhero movies. You love this kind of stuff. Why? Like, why?
Yeah.
This is a blind spot for you." So I'm like, I'll do it. Yeah.
Was Origins Wolverine? Was it like as bad as people say, or did you kind of like it?
I liked it up until the fight scene with Deadpool.
Yeah.
It was fun up until they get to that warehouse, and then it's just what is happening.
No, I agree.
It just becomes a disaster.
Yeah.
I mean, there are parts of that film that I like, but I don't know. I remember just like watching it with a bunch of friends. I think the last time I watched it was in like my senior year of college for whatever reason. Actually, I think I did a commentary on it on what was then the Men versus Movies channel. But and I was just like, there's so many things you're just scratching your head. You're like, what? Who thought this was a good idea?
And I was texting my friends who I do the podcast with at the time, and they're like, why do you not think this is a terrible movie? And I'm like, it's a movie. Like, I'm a filmmaker. I understand what it's like to go through the process of making a film. So I'm like, I can appreciate even the bad films, but so I'm like, it's okay. It's just a movie. And then I get to when Deadpool comes in, I'm like, yep, I'm out.
Yeah. It's not great. But let's get to some questions here, and then we'll circle back around and talk about the Greyhound. But let's get to some questions here. So, let's see. So Certain Vids is in here. Thanks for joining, man. He's asking, what is your favorite film score of all time? That's really tricky. Because I don't know if I can narrow it down to just one, but I don't know about you guys. Amy, do you have a favorite one?
I actually do. Yeah.
Oh,
and I
okay,
actually
cool.
talked about this on my Twitter Monday or Tuesday when Morricone passed away.
Yeah.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is probably my favorite film score of all time. Like,
it's so good.
Love it so much. Like, I love John Williams. He's my favorite composer, but that score from Morricone is so fantastic. Gives me chills every single time. I think there's a Corona commercial that like moves me to tears just because they use that score from the end of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah. No, the whole Ecstasy of Gold sequence and paired with the music is like that's one of the best just like moments in film.
It's probably one of my favorite moments. When I was making my video for that, I think I just sat there and watched that scene for a solid 20 minutes over and over again instead of doing any other work.
Yeah, no, I mean it's like it's intoxicating. Like it just kind of like sucks you in. It's oh no, I agree. That's a great one. It's like that's like at least top 10 for me as well. But Tyler, what's your favorite film score of all time?
I mean, my gut reaction is to give you like 5, just because I want to talk about so many that I love. But if I had to pick one, it'd be Beast of the Southern Wild.
That's really
and Dan Romer. I like that one a lot. So I would say that one. Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie. That's on my list of movies that I need to watch.
I don't think the movie's that good. I think it's a little overrated, but the score is incredible. Like, they also did the score for Wendy too, which is another, like, to me, it's the best score of the year so far. So they're really good with music.
Yeah, Wendy's interesting because I haven't seen the movie, but I've like listened to the score a whole bunch, and I'm like, oh wow, this is really good. But from what I've been told, the score is actually the best part of the film, so maybe I don't even need to watch the movie.
No.
Yeah, when I saw the trailer for Wendy, I got very much the same vibe I got from the Beast of the Southern Wild trailer.
Yeah, very similar.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, I don't know, because I go back and forth between so many, but like if just right now on the spot answering, I'd probably say American Beauty. I just, I think that it's not only one. Yeah, I mean, like it's one of Thomas Newman's best scores to date. It's just really, I don't know. It just kind of introduced the world to his style. Even though he did like Shawshank and Green Mile before then, but like I don't know. There's just something about that's like it's just really haunting, and it gets into your subconscious and stuff like that. But I don't know. And on top of the fact that I just love that movie, so that's probably another reason why. But yeah, so good question there. Okay, so Gloin to Habit is asking, rank the latest films: Relic, Greyhound, Palm Springs, and The Old Guard, and First Cow. So I can only rank 3 of these because I haven't seen the other 2, and I guess you guys can't. You've only seen Greyhound, or Amy, you've seen Greyhound and Palm Springs, so you can't really rank them. But like, let's rank them, I guess, in order of just like what you're most anticipating. Obviously, you've seen a few of them, but prior to seeing them, what was sort of your like list of how you wanted to tackle them?
Palm Springs, The Old Guard, First Cow, Greyhound, and Relic. But I hadn't heard of Relic until a couple weeks ago, and I'm not sure if I'm even supposed to say this, but the company that I work for is releasing Relic on Blu-ray.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
We release a lot of IFC titles. So
yeah, for sure.
I'm like always excited to see what we're going to get next. We did Babadook, which was like insane. I love Babadook. I haven't watched it, but I love our release. It's super cool.
Was that the one with the book and like the
we did a Pride edition too last year that was insanely cool, and we got to film this really fun video with glitter. It was so much fun.
That's awesome. Well, you guys also did the really cool the pop star one.
Yes. Oh my god, the pop star steelbook is over there on my shelf. I can see it. I was obsessed with every step of the process of making that steelbook. Yeah, I begged the marketing person to give me one of those as soon as he got it in. I'm like, you have to give me this steelbook because it's probably my favorite scene from that film. Yeah, even though it's not an actual scene, it's just a black screen. Yeah, but just picturing that, it's so good.
It's so good. No, I agree. That was the second I saw that steelbook, I was like, fuck, I need to get my hands on one of these. I mean, I still
you should
don't
let
have
me
it.
know. I can next time I'm in the office, I will see if I can try to get one for you.
Okay, yes,
whenever we go back to the office.
Right, whenever that happens. But anyways, yeah, Tyler, what was sort of like your ranking of like the anticipation of these?
Yeah, so I've only seen Greyhound, but in terms of anticipation, I didn't even know First Cow came out, but I would probably say Palm Springs. I was pretty excited for Greyhound, so I'd say Greyhound.
You're in it, aren't you?
Yeah, but I mean, there's no way you can see me because there were so many extras, man. It was crazy. Like the crazy thing about that movie, you can tell because the special effects are obviously pretty bad, but like that boat is never out in the water. Like it's literally docked to on shore, and there's just like a giant green screen behind the ship. So it's never moving. It's like sunlight the whole time. But I would say the Greyhound, and then probably First Cow. That seems interesting. Relic and the Old Guard. The Old Guard doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't really look that all too great to me. But I'm prepared to be wrong, I guess.
Yeah, I heard. I mean, we had our friend Zach kind of raving about the Old Guard, so it got me a little more excited about that. But like I don't know. I don't know. I guess just the other movies kind of interested me more. Like similar to you guys, I hadn't heard anything about Relic until I saw it, and then oh my god,
I never remember you said anything. Yeah,
so good. Like I cannot recommend that film enough. If you haven't seen it, please go check it out. You know what? IFC has been doing an incredible job with the films that they're releasing during this pandemic, and it's like they're sort of becoming the big studio now.
The new A24.
Yeah, the quarantine A24, and I love it. They've always had like great movies, but now because like literally nothing else is releasing, they kind of have like well, I don't want to say microscope, but just like everyone's sort of like drawing their attention to these sort of bigger indie movies. But yeah, Relic was, oh my god, incredible. But Palm Springs, like that movie is actually perfect. Like it's so delightful, so funny, really relatable and heartwarming. And it just kind of, to me, it just sort of like flipped the whole time loop genre on its head. So but before seeing those films though, I probably would have said Palm Springs, Relic, I wasn't really excited for Greyhound. What was the it was First
Old
Cow,
Guard and
then
First
the
Cow.
Old Guard. Probably the Old Guard, First Cow, and then Greyhound. I thought Greyhound was going to be awful, and I think because my expectations were so low that what we got didn't necessarily offend me. I was like, oh, this is a dad movie. So
yeah.
All right, so before we talk about Greyhound, because I do want to talk about that, we do have a super chat here from Zach Marsh. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate that. He's saying the score from Lawrence of Arabia, full stop. The overture alone clinches it for me. Maurice Jarre is disgustingly underappreciated. That's a good pick. Yeah, in terms of just favorite scores, yeah, that is a really, really good pick that I don't think people inherently think of. But before we go back to the questions, guys, we're going to take a second here and do just like a short little brief review of Greyhound. So Greyhound is the latest Apple TV Plus film to come out. I believe it's in collaboration with Sony. It was going to hit theaters, but then because of this whole nonsense that's going on, it's hitting Apple TV Plus now. It's got Tom Hanks. It's based off of the novel The Good Shepherd by C.S. Forrester, which is about basically this guy who is crossing the Atlantic during World War II, trying to protect convoys of supplies that are going to the Allied troops in the UK. And the main guy is played by Tom Hanks, and it's a really it's really simple, straightforward, but more of like an experiential war film that I think subtly tries to engage with like what it means to be a great leader. And it doesn't like tell you it really just shows by example. And I think that when the film is doing that, it's at its best. Yeah, there's a lot of like wartime jargon. There's like a lot of technical terms. And it's more about like just what it was like being there. But I think that because you have someone like Tom Hanks in the lead, you get like a more nuanced performance and you get a little bit more out of him than you probably would have if a lesser actor was in that role. But at the same time, and I think we can all agree on this, the script written by Tom Hanks is the weakest part of the film because it's really bare bones. And if I were to equate this film to anything, I'd say it's like a single episode of like Band of Brothers or The Pacific or something like that. It feels like it's part of a larger sort of like mini series or whatnot, which, that kind of tracks for Tom Hanks and that particular genre outside of Saving Private Ryan. But I would have liked a little bit more depth for that main character and a little bit more exploration, especially because it seems like there's a lot going on there. But Amy, you saw the film last night. What did you overall think of Greyhound?
Pretty much exactly what you said. It's very dry, and I was very sad to see at the end credits that Tom Hanks was the writer for it. I was like, man, Tom Hanks, really? But it felt very, very much like a reenactment from a World War II documentary, which I thought was kind of interesting because we don't really get World War II movies like this. And I really kind of appreciated it for the fact that it is completely different from any other World War II movie. I went into it thinking like the way Pearl Harbor is, where it follows like 3 or 4 different characters, and this focuses singularly on Tom Hanks's character. Yeah. But it felt very weird to me, the Elizabeth Shue scene. Like,
that was so out of place.
It felt very weird. Like it wasn't supposed to be there. Yeah. Like they could have taken her out. They could have taken the slippers out, and they could have taken the boat, like the little toy boat, out, and it would have been the same. Yeah. It would have just been a movie about a captain at sea trying to save his fleet. And it would have been completely the same, and I would have been totally fine with it. It probably actually would have been a little bit better because half the time I was wondering, when is Elizabeth Shue coming back? What does she have to do with anything?
Yeah, I agree with you. That part, it's like, I understood why it was there. I understood, like, it helped texturize the character a little bit more, but I completely agree with you. It was so weird to just have that one scene at the beginning and then never come back to it again.
Yeah,
like
because he had that line about wanting to see her around every corner, and I was like, okay, so at the very end, they're going to dock, and she's going to be in London. And he's going to get off the boat, and she's going to be standing on the dock in London waiting for him.
Yeah. And
then I think the only other thing that really mattered was the slippers scene, where you see that he's been standing on his feet and they're bleeding, and then it's like blood is everywhere and it's on the slippers. But that still didn't, like, I don't think they really followed it up at the end of the film as well as they probably could have.
No, I completely agree. But yeah, Tyler, what are your thoughts on Greyhound?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. You know, the script was pretty bare bones, but for me, it was even whenever I heard about this thing being in development, and the director is, what a weird choice, Aaron Schneider. I think that was the weakest part of the entire movie. That is a bizarre choice. This guy's done like absolutely nothing, and he's directing this huge World War II, Tom Hanks vehicle. It's just kind of strange to me. I was wishing we could have gotten someone like Peter Weir, like, who did Master and Commander, because that's like a far better movie.
That would have been
kind of
fun.
Similar, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just it was kind of a cool little contained thriller. But yeah, I wanted a lot more out of it. I think with a different director, it possibly could have been something much better, and also a bigger budget. Because the thing that bothered me the most were the special effects. Like, it was just so obvious they were not, actually in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which I know in movies like this they usually aren't, but this one was really noticeable. Like, everything just looked fake. Like the other ships, whenever they were fighting, it really took me out of it. I was really only into it whenever they were inside and it was really tense. But
claustrophobic.
Yeah, exactly.
Really,
that was good. But overall, I thought it was fine. I mean, I didn't hate it or anything. But I'm glad it was an hour and a half. Like, if this had been 2.5 hours, it would have been pretty tough to get through.
Well, I think that's the thing. Is like the movie, it's tight. It's intense. It's, aside from the VFX, I think technically it is a well-crafted movie. I like the way they shot it. I like how it's like really like relentless and nonstop, and so it's like you feel what it's like to be on the ship and be under command by this guy. And I don't know, there's just like a lot of subtleties in where like the crew is like sort of like they're looking at Tom Hanks for like him to do the right thing and like make the right call, and like there's some times when they don't quite agree with him, but then like the events play out and they're like, okay, this guy's got a plan. And I think, you could obviously draw comparisons to the fact that this is his first crossing in the Atlantic, and he was able to succeed and like save all these characters and like take down like 4 U-boats. It's like what he was able to accomplish by having a level head, by listening to everyone, as opposed to someone else who's in it for their own egotistical gains, I think is just like, it's kind of, I assume it's unintentionally timely, but it still is nice to see like stories of like what sure-handed leadership can accomplish. I wish they would have explored that a little bit more, because that's where the film, I think, really excels. And again, that kind of ties back to Hank's character.
Yeah, but I think it's a lot of that show don't tell. I talk about that a lot on my videos. I love show don't tell, because I hate when filmmakers shove down your throat what they're trying to get to you. Yeah. And this film did a lot of that so well, with just the subtle looks of all of these like sailors like looking at Tom Hanks, and they're like, you're our captain. They're in awe of him. They're kind of nervous, which I was also like, these kids probably did not have to act too much, just standing there in the presence of Tom Hanks, and they're already nervous.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, but anyways, okay, so starting to wrap this up, guys. Well, first of all, if you guys have seen Greyhound, be sure to let us know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? And then also let us know what your favorite Tom Hanks performance is. That should be a fun one. Okay, so closing this out, what would you guys give this out of 10? Amy, starting with you.
Ooh, I think I gave it like a 2.5 on Letterboxd. So that's like a 4 or 3, 4.
Okay, yeah, and then Tyler, you'd be around in the same camp.
Since I went 2.5, I'll just say let's round it up to 5 out of 10.
I'd probably give it around like a 6.5 or a 7 or somewhere around there. It just, again, really simple, straightforward. You kind of know what you're gonna get. It's probably going to be your dad's new favorite movie, but like it's harmless and it's really an easy watch. It's brisk and time
I think
flies
it's
by.
a good buy for Apple too. I think that was a smart move on their part.
Very smart. Yeah, very smart.
Yeah, they're going to get a lot of views on it just from Tom Hanks alone.
Because none of my friends knew anything about this movie until like 2 weeks ago when Apple bought it. Like then they all started talking about it. So
yeah. For sure. Yeah. Okay, so getting back to your live questions, guys, be sure to keep sending in your questions. We just want to take a second there and quickly talk about Greyhound because I haven't done so on the channel already. And then again, if you want your question answered immediately, Super Chat is available to you and it helps out the channel, but it is not required. So we do have a Super Chat though here from Zaya asking, let me see if it pops up. Worst performance to be nominated for an Oscar. Amy, do you have an answer for this?
God, I saw this Super Chat and I was like, I've been thinking about it for a while and I can't come up with anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, what would it be? I don't know, honestly. I can't think of a performance in at least the last like 3 to 5 years that was nominated and that was bad.
Yeah.
I'd have to like actually see a list of a bunch of like nominees to really decide.
Yeah, I know one. It's not that
go ahead.
The performance wasn't necessarily bad. It was just like, are you serious? It was Meryl Streep for Into the Woods. Like that was just ridiculous.
Actually, that is a great one.
Yeah, I mean she's good in the movie, but it's like, really, we're gonna do this for Into the Woods, really? But
they had to get a musical in there.
Yeah,
well, and they had to nominate Meryl Streep because she's Meryl Streep. She doesn't have enough Oscar. I agree with you. That one was really just like. In that movie, I don't know. I didn't hate the movie, but it was like everyone was building it up to be this big awards contender. Like, Disney was going all in on it, and it's just like, all right, it's not gonna make a dent.
Yeah, I think I stopped watching that movie like 20 minutes in. I have never finished it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's I think the first half. Well, actually, I don't know. Tyler, do you like the first half or the second half more? Because I think that's most people are like one half or the other.
I thought it was a little long, but I didn't mind it. I liked it. But like you said, I went in expecting it to be like a Best Picture nominee because everyone was saying Into the Woods, it's going to be huge.
Yeah.
They said this is going to be like a huge Oscar movie, but I remember just being like, it was good, but I mean, it's not going to be an Oscar movie.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. The second half is really interesting, but it's also, I don't know, kind of weird, but anyways, thank you for the super chat, man. Really appreciate it. So Zach Marsh, another super chat. Thank you again, man. He's saying, what is the longest shortish film under 100 minutes that you've ever watched? E.g. an 80-minute film that is so badly paced that it feels like 150 minutes. Good question. I
have an answer for this.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
I don't remember the runtime of it, but the new Tim Burton Dumbo. I just like went and looked at a list of movies that I watched recently, and that one sprung out at me. Dumbo and then the new Nutcracker movie with Keira Knightley. Both of those are very long feeling movies, and I definitely do not like either of them.
Yeah, Tyler, do you have a pick for this one?
Man, no, I mean, I usually there's a lot of these types of movies that Greyhound. No, I'm kidding. I don't know, man. I had to think about it. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Yeah, well, and I don't know. And there are other instances where it's like the film is short, but it feels longer, but not necessarily in a bad way. Like I think Relic is a really short movie. It's like under an hour and a half, but because it's so methodically paced, it's very atmospheric, and it's a slow burn. It feels way longer than an hour and 20 whatever. But that's a good thing because I think it really adds to the climax when that happens. But yeah, I mean, I could say the movie I watched last night, but unfortunately I'm under embargo, so I can't really mention that. But that was like an hour and a half, and that was wow, horribly paced movie. Just anyways, but yeah, anyways, thank you for the super chat, man. Really appreciate it. Let's see. We got one more super chat and then we're going to go back to your questions. Well, actually, we got one from 402-1971. Into the Woods is a good movie. Lost respect for you guys. Wow. Well, listen, that's why we love film, because you can like Into the Woods and we can dislike Into the Woods.
I actually had an argument with a friend about our differing tastes in films. I was like, oh man, we're talking about like Baba Yaga, and how they call John Wick that. And so I was like, ooh, that would be, I don't remember what I said. I was like, is this going to be the new Baba Yaga film, which is, I think, another IFC film? Or no, it's not an IFC film. It's another film that's being released that we're working on at work. And I was like, I really hope that this is a prequel for John Wick and how John Wick gets the Baba Yaga name. And my friend comes back, he's like, that's one of the things I don't like about those action movies is they take something, because Baba Yaga is like an old lady, and she's like supposed to be kind of creepy and scary, and they make it something totally different. And so we had like a solid hour argument over text talking about like why I'm like, it's okay. People are not going to know what Baba Yaga is. Yeah. And it's fine because like it's just a stupid, fun action movie. And you can take yourself out of that knowledge for 2 hours and enjoy this movie for that. But he was like, I can't do that because I have this knowledge. And so we talked about people's taste in movies and things like that for like a solid hour. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's true. People like their thing. And everyone has a different opinion. That's why movies are great.
Yeah, no, I agree. But that's an interesting thing. And that's, you know, I'm sure we all have this experience. Like there are certain friends that's like you love watching movies with, and there are certain friends that you hate watching movies with because they're uber critical. They take everything literally. They start picking out like, oh, well, that really can't happen. And they're like, oh, what, he fell off a building and lived? Yeah, that could really. It's like that is like one of my biggest pet peeves. And like I understand, it's like, well, okay, and then I guess there's other instances where it's like they're, you know, fictionalizing like science or you know, mythology or whatever, and they're like, well, that's not really how it is. I'm like, well, I don't really care. It's like
he's like the writer's talking down to you or like trying to make their screenplay for the lowest common denominator. I'm like, well, you want every screenwriter to do the research that Christopher Nolan does for Interstellar. That's not going to happen. Sometimes you want a movie that just throws everything out the window and just is stupid and fun. That's why I actually kind of enjoy the Fast and the Furious series. That's why I love John Wick so much, is because it just takes everything that you know about the world and turns it on its head. And it's just insanity for 2 hours and you can escape. Yeah. It's fun.
No, I agree. Tyler, do you have those annoying friends?
Yeah, to me, the worst is just when people comment the whole time during a movie. They just keep talking.
Oh, that's true.
My parents, that's my mom all the way.
I just cannot. I just want to shoot myself in the temple. It's just like, please stop. Like, just watch the movie. Like, there are certain people I just don't even like. I don't even watch movies with them anymore. It's just like, holy crap, please.
No, I agree. I mean, there are some people. Like I don't know. Obviously, if we're just like drinking and like barely watching the film and like just whatever, I think that's a different case. But like,
oh no, it's fun. Yeah. But like, when like every single movie, like you know, like Parasite or whatever, it's like, please just stop. Like I'm trying to. You're ruining all the the tension and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they're asking questions about like something that's going to happen, and you're like, I haven't seen this movie either. I'm in the exact same boat as you are, but you're asking questions, and it's going to be answered in 5 seconds.
And I don't know if you guys have this, but it's like, you know, when you'll watch movies with your parents, you're like, they've seen the movie a million times. They're still like, so like, wait, how did that happen? I'm like,
my mom does that with Harry Potter. All the time. She's like, so wait, Voldemort killed his parents? I'm like, Mom, you read the books. You took me to see these movies when I was 11. You know what's happening.
Yeah,
it's the worst. When they know the answer, it's like, you know the answer. Like the answer.
You just want to say something. You just want to hear your own voice.
I know. Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's like Harry Potter, Star Wars. Those are the two big ones that always happens. And I don't know.
My dad, whenever I watched Lord of the Rings, my dad would be like, "So they're doing what?" I'm like, they're taking a ring to throw it in a pit of fire.
Yeah, just simplify it down to like a really grossly simple, just like explanation or whatever.
I got one more. It's
go.
It's when I'm watching something with like a movie that I've seen, but my friend hasn't seen it. They ask me like, so is this and this gonna happen? You're gonna find out. Like just watch. You know what I mean? It's just like it just drives me crazy. I'm just like, watch. Like
it's like, dude,
minutes,
what? Like, come on, man, come on. No, I get that. Yeah, that's super annoying. Okay, well, we have another super chat that I missed in here from Zaya. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Saying better thriller, Parasite or Get Out?
Parasite, hands down, Parasite.
Yeah,
I saw Parasite 3 times in theaters, And one of the times was one of Collider's special screenings with Bong Joon-ho, and it was
Oh, so
fantastic.
nice, yeah.
It was awesome. I've watched that movie at least 5 times since it came out. I do love Get Out. I love Jordan Peele, but yeah, Parasite, just something about it stuck with me.
Yeah, for sure. Tyler, same answer.
Yeah, probably. It's kind of harder than I thought because Get Out is a great thriller, but it's also kind of fun. Where Parasite's not really fun. But I'd probably go Parasite because to me it's like the better overall movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably go Parasite too. I just I don't know, the way, I mean, obviously Get Out is like amazing and there's like so much detail in that film. But like for me the kicker, or sorry, the selling point for Parasite is that the way Bong Joon-ho balances tone in that film, like, should not be possible. Like I have never seen a movie jump around from just like, you know, okay, now it's a dark comedy. Now it's sort of like a really heavy like character drama. Okay, well then now it's like a psychological thriller. It's like now it feels like a Hitchcock film. It's like I've never seen someone be able to balance all of that seamlessly. And I think that is just one of the most impressive feats I've ever seen on screen. So I think that alone kind of has to, you know, I lean more towards Parasite in that regard. But both
I will give Get Out though, it's what kind of got me into wanting to watch horror films a little bit more. I took a class in I took a horror films course in college, and that was the first time I ever really watched horror films because that was not my jam. But I took that course and I kind of started falling in love with like slasher films. But I was very trepidatious to go see Get Out and the first It film, of the new ones. And both of those films, I'm like, after watching those, I'm like, I love horror films now. Yeah.
There you go. I always love those experiences, just like hearing other people's experiences, like what their gateway is into like horror, or really just like other genres, but especially like horror, because like people when they're younger, it's like they'll like test the waters a little bit with some other films, and it'll usually like terrify them, and then, you know, later in life they find a film and then it's just like, oh my gosh, I love this now.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome. Tyler, do you have like a gateway horror film that for yourself?
When I was a kid, man, I would always, like, in the video store, I would always go down the horror section, and I wanted to watch everything, but I wasn't allowed to because most of them were rated R. But like the 3 that I was obsessed with, like the VHS cases, like every time I would go in, I would just go to look to see if they had it. Was the 1990 version of It with the clown on the front, Child's Play, and Jaws. But Jaws was really the first movie I got to watch that kind of launched me into it. And I was like, whoa, this is awesome.
That's fun. Yeah, I think Jaws it's so weird because it's like Jaws is a horror film. I've never considered it a horror film.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because it's a Spielberg movie, and he's kind of like a genre unto himself. But
it's also a little bit more of like a thriller kind of. Yeah. Because it's almost like a mystery, because you're trying to, like, I mean, he did that whole thing where he doesn't show Bruce for the first 2/3 of the film. So it's like it's got that thriller element where you don't see the killer. Yeah. Which that is at least I don't know how exactly I was going to say that, but that's like the horror genre took that a lot, especially slasher films. They took that and used that in their later films, which I think is why Jaws is a horror film, but it's also like it's still very rooted in a thriller.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like also just like a blockbuster popcorn flick.
Yeah,
too,
I mean, it was really, it was literally the first blockbuster.
Yeah, the original blockbuster. Yeah, so it's no, I think that's a good point. It really kind of like showed the importance of, like, you know, sometimes the scariest things are like what you can't see and what you kind of like leave up to your imagination. So yeah, no, I completely agree. Got another question here from Kieran Grudgings asking if you could, or if you would recast the MCU main trio, Thor, Cap, and Iron Man, who would you choose? That's tough. Because like I don't know. I feel like part of what makes that trio so special is that people wouldn't have inherently thought of them. Like Robert Downey Jr. before Iron Man only had like, I mean, obviously like Chaplin and a whole bunch of other stuff, but like he hadn't really done anything outside of like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang that was like, you know, kind of going to lift him out of like the, you know, the bad public rap he had. So it was like Iron Man kind of like saved his career and his life in a way, even though he's always been like a super talented guy. But it's like, I don't know how many people would have pegged him for that. Same with like Chris Hemsworth, complete unknown. Like you would not have gotten someone like that as Thor.
Yeah, he hadn't done anything in America. He'd only been in Australian films before that. Yeah, for sure. And like, yeah, Chris Evans was probably like, he had been in I wouldn't say he's the most well-known out of them because obviously RDJ, but like he had already been in this genre before, obviously with Fantastic Four. Like he was like, people loved him from like his teen, like not another teen movie and like those like rom-coms and stuff like that. But still, it's like, do you peg that guy for Captain America? It's so unlike anything he's played before. And so I think why that casting is so good is because they kind of ignored the outside factors. So it's like, I don't know if I could personally select people that like, would be great for those roles. But I mean, I don't know. Do either of you have any like other actors in mind that you'd like to see play those characters, or like if they hadn't been casted? I mean, I would be kind of interested to see Tom Holland as Peter Parker become the new Iron Man, especially with the Iron Spider suit and the way like they handled Far From Home with him and like Happy. Yeah. But like, I don't know. It seems weird to me to recast the MCU when they have done such an amazing job with their entire casting for the last 10 years, 12 years almost.
I mean, that might be like their strongest attribute. Is their casting, honestly. I mean, the interconnectivity is great. The spectacle, it's fun, all that stuff. But like the casting is pretty damn spot on. But I don't know, Tyler, do you have any picks for people?
It's hard, man. I've been trying to think the whole time while you were talking, but my gut reaction is to go with someone who's like relatively well known. I started going through like the big shows like Stranger Things and all this stuff, but like you want to get someone you wouldn't expect, because that's what they did, and it's tough, man. I would have to really like think about it, and I think they really thought about it too. Clearly, they probably did a lot of research because Chris Hemsworth is a super weird choice.
I do see a comment here saying Chris Hemsworth played Kirk's dad in the JJ Star Trek. Which, I completely forgot about that, and I think that was before Thor.
Yeah, that was before Thor. But that was like the first thing that I ever saw him in. But like,
me too.
And Sean and I, Sean Chandler and I always talk about this. It's like he had such a short amount of screen time, but he made such an impact with that limited screen time. You're like, oh, there's something about this guy. Like he's got that it factor to be like a movie star. So like that obviously tailored with the fact that I think he's just looks great as Thor and can act. I think kind of that makes sense. But again, like I would never have thought of someone like that to play Thor.
Like a relatively unknown person for these big roles, I think is a great choice. Like it would be weird to just pull some big famous actor that you wouldn't be able to separate them from their previous roles for this. Like Chris Evans was kind of like a fresh start for him from all of the like Not Another Teen Movie and things like that. It was totally different. And like it was a fresh start for RDJ too. Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. was a shock too. Apparently, I didn't know back at the time, but supposedly people were like, "Yeah, he was just he went through a drug thing, and like him being cast as this huge superhero character was apparently a really big deal and like really out of left field pick." So
yeah, and I mean, obviously, them, wanting to go with Tom Cruise, that would have been like really weird. Like I can't.
Yeah.
I couldn't have seen Tom Cruise staying on. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I'm glad it didn't happen.
Yeah, I think he would have been too busy jumping out of airplanes and trying to get into space with Mission Impossible to stay on as Iron Man.
Yeah, well, and he didn't want to wear the helmet. It was like, well, I want my face seen. I'm like, okay, Tom Cruise.
He's like, I don't know why, but he's so short. It feels like that's wrong. For Iron Man to be that short, which he's not that short. He's as tall as I am, but it's like 5'6" is not that tall. Yeah. It's Tom Cruise. Well, thank God he has the Mission movies because now he can just like he can live out all his crazy action fantasies there. But anyway, so okay, another super chat here from Tyler Van. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it. I cannot comment on this particular question, but I brought it up because, but I brought it up because I know, Amy, you do watch Doctor Who, correct? I do. I thought Nope, that's at my desk at work. I have a giant TARDIS Funko Pop. But yes,
Oh, okay.
I've only seen an episode and a half of Torchwood, but I do love Doctor Who so much. It's probably one of my top 5 favorite series of all time.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things that I've just never gotten into. I had friends around me watching. I mean, it's got a long history, so it's like maybe that's another part of it, but
I've only seen New Who. I haven't seen the previous, like, oh God, I think it was like 45 years of Doctor Who before they rebooted it.
yeah.
So, but I've only watched New Who. You do kind of have to power through that first season with Christopher Eccleston. But looking back, that season and like the first season with David Tennant are some of my favorite seasons because of all of the practical effects that they use for all of the aliens and different things. I really love that. Like practical effects are like a comfort blanket to me. Yeah, and I love the way they do it because it looks bad. It also looks very early 2000s, but I love the way it looks.
Yeah, well, there you have it. Tyler, do you watch either of those? I don't think.
No offense to Doctor Who, but when I hear Doctor Who, I just get exhausted because I know there's so many episodes. There's so many, and it just makes me. I get overwhelmed, but I'm sure it's great because people who love the show, they like really love it. So yeah, obviously it's good.
I mean, I have a friend who he's watched all of it and he loves it all, and I'm like, it does exhaust me thinking about the first 8 Doctors, and I'm like, I can't get into that. That's hundreds of episodes, and you have to dig deep for some of them because they lost the reels that those episodes were made on. So you have lost episodes. And I'm like, I don't, that's why I won't watch Game of Thrones yet, because I'm like, I don't want to get into watching all of that right now when there's still new episodes coming out. And I stick with what I have right here, and it's a lot easier.
Yeah, no, I get that. Question here from Jaron Talks Movies. Thanks, man, for joining the stream. He's saying, what is a comic story you love that you really hope is eventually given the opportunity to be told on the big screen? Does anyone have an answer for that one?
Why the Last Man? That's like the only real graphic novel / comic that I've really, really read.
Yeah.
And I know that they've been in talks to make it for so long, and they've like even cast the main character a couple times, but I would really love to see that be made for like actually made.
Yeah, for sure. Tyler?
I'm not really familiar too much with too many comics, but like I guess a rebooted like movie series I would love to see is Ghost Rider, like a really, really great Ghost Rider series. So I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Didn't they have him in the Punisher? I didn't watch the Punisher series with John Bernthal.
Yeah.
But I think they might have had him in there. I don't remember for sure.
He was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and
that's
then
what it was. I didn't watch past season 1 of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, that's a weird show where it's like it actually got better. Like the first 2 season 2 is not awful, but it's still not quite where it should be. But like the first couple of seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are just not good, and then it just like kind of becomes its own thing, and like shocker, it becomes a lot better because it's not tied down to the MCU filled with just like, you know, superficial references or just like oh look, there's a Captain America shield, like stupid stuff like that. So but yeah, I know he was in that, and he was really good in that. And then he was also they were gonna do a Hulu show for him, basically as a spinoff from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but it I guess it's not happening. I don't know really what's going on with that, but
do y'all prefer like the Ghost Rider series seemed intriguing, but for some reason I just prefer it when they do superhero movies over TV shows. I don't know why, but whenever I hear they're making a TV show on a superhero, to me it automatically means it's just not going to be that good. I don't know why, but that's just what I think every single time.
Yeah, there's only so many stories you can do on a TV show. Like, I was a really big fan of Flash up until probably like I think the 3rd or 4th season. I have not watched since then, and it's like they ran out of stories. Everything is the same. It's just with a different villain.
Yeah,
there's only so much you can do in a TV show.
Yeah, like I like Daredevil a lot. I didn't love it, but I would say it's probably my favorite superhero show. And like I said, I didn't even love it. So I think I really prefer movies, whatever.
Or like they could do a limited series of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hate the notion of doing like a series, but obviously I do prefer like a movie. But like, I don't know, Daredevil and Punisher really showed that like you can explore these characters and have that cinematic quality in a show. So like I don't know, to me that was I don't know, I liked that. Question here from Kieran Grudgings asking, or sorry, not that one. Sorry. We just talked about that one. Where the heck was it? Shoot, I lost. Oh no, here it is. Question here from Tony Movie Chappie D9 Neil Blomkamp #1 fan asking Griffin, Tyler, and Amy, what is your least favorite movie ever? Mine is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Well, I don't hate that movie, as creepy as it is. But Amy, what's your least favorite movie of all time?
Oh man, that's a tough question. There's this movie. It's, you know, Downsizing. Actually, that movie still infuriates me to this day. Like, there are other movies that I think are worse, like that new the Nutcracker movie that I talked about earlier with Keira Knightley. I absolutely hated that film, but Downsizing made me furious, and I sometimes still think about how much that movie pissed me off. Yeah,
that's that's not a good movie.
Yeah, for Downsizing, like it's technically not a bad movie, but wow, what a mean trick! Like that, the marketing was great, the trailers were awesome, but
yeah, I was so excited for that movie, and it.
Me too. Alexander Payne was like, "This is gonna be the best movie of the year," but wow. Like, after 25 minutes, it's just like, what?
Yeah. It was not the movie that they advertised to be. And, like, it's the opposite of what they do now, where they show everything in the trailer. And this, they showed nothing in the trailer except for the first 20 minutes of the film.
And it was misleading.
Like, yeah. I'm like, this is not what I signed up for. I want my money back, even though I think that came out with Movie Pass. It's so long. There's like, it's like 3 different movies.
Long.
3 different movies in one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Tyler, what's your least favorite movie of all time?
It's hard. Least favorite of all time is really hard, but I watched one this year right before the pandemic. That was one of the worst movies I've seen in the theater in a long time. Fantasy Island. I thought that movie was awful. That was a really, really bad movie.
I purposely avoided that one.
Good. That was sadly one of the last ones I saw before the theaters closed. Yeah. So
actually, you know what? I just looked at the list of movies that I've seen recently. Artemis Fowl is another one that I really do not like.
It's not good. But
I read the book a lot when I was younger, and I've been so excited for this movie to be made since I was, I think, 11 when that book came out.
Yeah.
And nothing happened in Artemis Fowl. Like, that movie, nothing happens. I think that's another movie that was like a short, long movie, because it's just, you're sitting there and it's like, what is, like, is this going anywhere? Nothing, nothing is happening. They get from point A to point A.
Disney has this weird thing where when they make bad movies, I still like them. Or not like them, but there's just still like, there's just something about them where I'm like, all right. You know, like Tomorrowland was the same way. Like, I don't like the second half of it, but I hated
that movie.
But after it was over, I was like, you know,
like
whatever.
The character that Josh Gad plays in the book was one of my favorite characters, and I absolutely hated him in this film.
It was just weird. I don't know what they were trying to do with him. It wasn't good.
It's just because when I see Josh Gad nowadays, like in movies, I'm just like, oh, he's a great actor, but now I just am like, oh.
It's kind of an indicator. Like it's like, okay, so this movie might actually, it's probably gonna suck.
I'm like, can you just play Olaf from now on forever?
Yeah, but like yes, but also even there, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of either of the Frozen movies, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I like the first Frozen better than the second Frozen, but I don't know. I think Josh Gad, like Olaf, was the shining star of Frozen 2 for me.
Well, yeah, I mean, like he actually had an interesting like journey to go on there. Frozen 2 is such a weird movie because it's like they doubled down on like what I didn't like about the first one. Like just kind of like there being like no real central conflict. It's just like what's happening here. But like at the same time they explored the mythology, so it's like I almost liked it better just because of that. So it's such a weird
Griffin, I'm going to warn you. I don't know if this is like a spoiler for real. I think someone spoiled No Time to Die in the comments.
Oh, did they?
I don't know if you know any spoilers, but
let's see it. I do know a lot of spoilers, so
right.
That's not actually true. Well, we'll just bring it up right now. With Dr. No appearing in No Time to Die, it seems like they are bringing the story full circle. Will Bond sacrifice himself in the film? One, Dr. No is not appearing in No Time to Die. That is a rumor that has been going around because Rami Malek looks like the character of Dr. No, and also because of like a couple of like sets that look really similar to a Ken Adams set in like an early James Bond film. He is not going to be in the movie. That is completely untrue. Will Bond sacrifice himself in the film? We have no idea. I don't personally think that that's going to happen, given the other information that I know that is spoilery that I will not divulge on here. But if like you read like some of the leaks that happened, and where they're kind of going with the film, I don't think him dying would be a satisfying ending for the character. I also just think it's stupid. So there's that. So yeah, that's not going to happen.
Can't wait for that movie.
I know, man. I'm just so. Here's another question. Do you think that we should just cancel this year for movie because Halloween Kills got delayed?
I'm so sad about that.
I am so sad. Yeah.
I was physically like, but then I watched the new Halloween movie. And I was like, I'm okay. I'll handle this for another year. But that teaser was just, why would you drop that teaser and say we have to wait another year and a half for this?
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna ask, do you think theaters gonna open at all this year? Like,
no.
They say they want to, but they're gonna keep pushing it.
I think, and I don't think Tenet is gonna come out unless they decide to release it on VOD.
Yeah.
But that would
they're not gonna do that. Nolan will never do that.
Nolan will never do that,
especially with the 35 print. He's not going to.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yep. It sucks. I think we should just cancel this year. But drop No Time to Die on VOD because I don't want to wait another year for that. I've already waited 5 fucking years for that movie. So God, just why did this have to happen? It kills me. People, wear your masks. Wear your masks and social distance, and just don't do stupid things because
America is like the stupidest country ever.
So fucking dumb.
Like, did you see the pictures of downtown Disney when they opened up the other day? And it's like it's so crowded. I'm like, America, get your shit together. This is why like all of the Asian Disneylands have opened up, like Tokyo Disney Sea, and like even Disneyland Paris is opening up because
Orlando just opened today.
Yeah, well that was the thing.
Disney World.
That's a disaster. And Florida can't even keep up with the cases that are happening. Like, if I were anyone, I would not even step foot in Florida for like another 5 years. Like,
no, and like my parents, like they're like, oh, we're going to our timeshare in Florida in December, and they're like, you want to come with us? I'm like, no, I don't want to get on a plane to come see you in Indiana. Why am I going to go to Florida, the epicenter? Like, I think Florida has more cases than LA does right now.
Oh no, it does because they don't know how to handle it because their governor's
no, because like, I mean, we could get all political because it's apparently a political issue now.
Yeah, of course we could, but yes, wearing a mask is a political statement now.
No, it's not. It's not trying to save the health of everybody around you.
Yeah. I actually got a COVID test the other day, just for precautions.
The one that goes like in your nose.
Yeah, but they didn't do it. They gave it to us, and I had to stick it up my own nose and swirl it around. So it's like I'm torturing myself.
Because I know there's one test that you can take where you like cough into your mask and then you swab your mask. But like I haven't left my apartment enough for me to like even be like, oh, I need a test.
Yeah.
Because it's just me here, and the only time I ever leave my apartment is to like maybe go to the grocery store or take the trash down to the dumpster.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, Tyler, I'm okay.
Yeah, right. Tyler, you're still working, right? Aren't you?
Yeah, because outdoor dining is open, so it's great. I still get to work and everything, but we'll see if we do another like full close down again. I don't know. I hope not, but I can't believe gyms are still open. I still go. Like, I'm glad it's open, but I'm shocked they're open. You know,
maybe you need to get a COVID test.
I know. Yeah, I've had it 4 times.
Oh God. Okay, all right. Go back. Little quick aside there. We're going back to the questions. Movie File is in there. Hey, Elliot, great for to have you in here. Thanks for joining in. Bond question: would you be interested in seeing a previous Bond play a mentor to the new Bond, or maybe a past Bond play a villain? Yes, I would. I'd love to see Pierce Brosnan play a Bond villain because he's at that right age. He's like, he can, I don't know, wear a mustache or something. It'd be like a great villain. I don't know. He'd probably be the only one that I think could do that, because I don't know if I'd want to see Daniel Craig come back as a villain, or at least like right now. He'd probably be later down the road. But Pierce Brosnan, give me a Pierce Brosnan as a Bond villain. I think that'd be great. But I don't know. What do you guys think? If you have any, takes on this.
I don't know. Have I told you this, Griffin? I've never watched a Bond film.
You know what? I think you have, actually. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, but I mean, there are 2 on the 1001 checklist, and if it happens in November and theaters are open,
if it happens in November,
and they're gonna release No Time to Die, I will probably be watching those 2 films plus another one for the podcast. But that's probably about all I will have seen.
Which ones are on the 1001? It's probably like Goldfinger and something else, right?
I know Goldfinger is one, and I can't remember the other one, but it's one of Daniel Craig's.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we're gonna. I think for the podcast we're gonna watch the other Daniel Craig one.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's good. That's awesome. I didn't know that. But well, Tyler, would you like to see like Pierce Brosnan or another one come back?
Yeah, dude, I'd love to see Pierce Brosnan. I think it would be a genius move, and it would get people really excited too. Because I mean, like, his movies are kind of silly, but he's a killer Bond, and he's just like a great actor. And
yeah.
I would just love to see that. It would be so cool.
Well, speaking of Pierce Brosnan, did you guys? I assume both of you caught Eurovision, or I don't know. Did you?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see it yet.
Yeah, I was waiting the entire time for him to break out Mamma Mia style.
I was so disappointed that didn't happen.
Like at the very end, like I don't think it really matters if we spoil anything for that, because it's not really a spoiler movie.
Yeah.
But like I was waiting at like when they're singing at the very end of the film, like. I was so ready for him to come up on stage and just like break out in the song.
Yeah, I know. I was like, "What? Come on! You didn't utilize his vocal talents.
You put Pierce Brosnan in a movie with music, and you should have him sing."
Absolutely. Yeah, I was really disappointed by that, but I don't know. There was, as weird of an experience watching that movie was. I don't know. I'm still kind of mixed on it, but I do like the good stuff in it is starting to win me over a little bit more on it.
Yeah,
like,
Rachel McAdams.
Rachel McAdams.
Best part, her song. Yeah. I don't think that was her singing, but the song that she sings in the final competition is so good.
So good. Yeah, and it wasn't her singing. I think there were versions recorded with them singing, but they obviously didn't use them. And then Dan Stevens in that movie is it's so good.
Him singing, because that actually sounded like him singing.
No, I looked that up too. It wasn't him. It was a similar thing where it's like he did record some stuff, but they didn't end up using it. But yeah, no, that's so good. Tyler, I want you to check out that movie just to like hear your thoughts on it.
No, yeah, it looked pretty trash, but a lot of people have been talking about it. Like, it's really popular. Like,
I got recommended it by a bunch of people.
Yeah,
I think good move for Netflix.
Yeah, it is. It's a good. I think it's like almost 2 hours, but it's a fun time.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting film. Not the funniest Will Ferrell movie, but it's got a lot of heart, so I appreciate that. Okay, Film Stocked here asking, is there a movie that you refuse to watch, even if it's deemed a classic or critically acclaimed? Interesting question.
That was me in the X-Men movies for a while.
Oh, yeah.
I just flat out refused to watch them. I was like, I'm just apathetic to this entire franchise. I'm not going to watch them. But I ended up doing it.
Oh, God. I feel like there is, but I just can't for the life of me think of, because I know I've said this before. I'm just like, I just don't care. But I can't think of what it is. Oh, yeah.
Any of the like Annabelle and like that entire like world.
Oh, the Conjuring movies.
The Conjuring movies, I refuse to watch those. Those are like the one genre of horror movies that I do not like. I don't like the like creepy dolls, spirits kind of thing. I love Paranormal Activity and like The Ring, but I don't know. I can't with the way I don't know. There's just something about those, and I flat out refused to see Hereditary for the longest time. But I recently watched Midsommar, and I'm like, maybe I'll watch Hereditary soon, because I actually enjoyed Midsommar so much. And I'm like, maybe I will enjoy Ari Aster a lot more.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Tyler, do you have one?
No, I mean I can't think of anything. I think the one that I put off the longest was Lawrence of Arabia. Well, I've seen it now, but
oh yeah,
it's like a super long movie. I was like, I don't know if I can do this today. Like, you know, I think it's like 4.5 hours, but I finally watched it. It was really good, but that's one I definitely like. I won't rewatch as much just because it's so long, you know. Oh, Gone with the Wind. I've not seen that yet, but it's so long.
It's great.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's great.
It's a great film despite a lot of things that it has in it.
Yeah.
That's not a big deal to me, but
it is a very long film. I think when I watched it for the channel, I had broke it up into 2 parts. Like with the intermission, I went and did something else and came back to it.
Yeah, I need to see it.
Yeah, gosh, I really for the life of me cannot think of one. Usually they are like really long older movies. Gosh, I can't even. Yeah, I honestly can't think because usually I'm willing to accept those kind of films. I'm usually willing to go in and watch those. But like some of the more obscure ones, I don't know. Sometimes it's just like, I don't know. I'm not really feeling this. Like I know Fanny and Alexander. It took me a little while to be like, okay, we're gonna watch this right now. So yeah, I don't know. It's that's an interesting question because I that does happen to me more often than not. So. Okay, I like movies asking thoughts on Hunt for the Wilder People. I don't know why not more people are talking about it. Well, I mean, I guess people aren't talking about it currently because it is an older film, or well, a couple of years ago. But it was also like kind of like, I mean, it's an indie Taika Waititi like awkward comedy, so it's like you're already like niching yourself down so far that's not going to appeal to the masses. But I agree with you, it is a really underrated film. It's really enjoyable. Sam Neill is great in it, and that the kid from Deadpool is in it, and he's good too. Probably not my favorite of Taika's films, but it's solid. Like if you like his like weird, quirky indie humor, then you'll enjoy that. But have either of you guys seen?
I haven't seen it. It's on my list. I put it on my list after Taika got tapped for Thor.
Oh yeah.
I like went through his filmography and like put stuff on the list, which I haven't watched. That or What We Do in the Shadows, which are 2 of his that I've been meaning to watch for a while. I just haven't gotten around to it.
You need to watch What We Do.
No, I need to watch that, and I need to catch up on the show before season 3 comes out.
Wait, so you've watched the show before the movie?
I have not watched the show.
I
refuse to watch the show until I've watched the movie.
Okay.
But that's probably something I'm going to do before quarantine is over.
Yeah, for sure. Tyler?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. It's a really good movie, but I like Jojo Rabbit much more, and Thor Ragnarok as well. So.
Yeah. Well, I don't like Thor Ragnarok more, but but yeah, no, I agree. JoJo's great.
Can't wait for his next one. I can't remember the name. I can't remember the name of it, but
that's
Michael Fassbender.
Yes. Oh my God. Thank God.
Next year.
Thank God Michael Fassbender is in another movie. It has been entirely too long. That man is just, he does not get. I don't know what is going on with him. He needs more work. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going here. Let me see. Okay. Ken asking, any chance that Tenet is a hidden sequel to Inception, similar to how Split was a secret sequel to Unbreakable? Imagine DiCaprio shows up. Nolan doesn't do sequels usually, but this would be epic. No, I don't think that's going to happen. That just doesn't sound like Christopher Nolan. Nor would I want that to happen. I think the thing I like about Nolan is that like outside of the Batman films, like each film is just like a singular journey where like the character's story is completely fulfilled. And I think because we live in a world where like the Marvel Cinematic Universe is yeah, exactly. Everything is serialized. It's like people want that, or they like kind of are like they throw out theories about that, but no, it's not going to happen. And 2, I don't want it to happen. I mean, do you guys even? I don't think any of us really want that. But,
not at all.
Yeah, no, that sounds.
I mean, if I saw DiCaprio, I would lose my mind. I'd be like, oh my gosh, it's a sequel.
But it's like, okay, would you lose your mind just because you're like, holy shit, I can't believe they did this, or like?
See, yeah, no, I don't think it's going. If I had to call, I don't think it's going to happen. But there's so much evidence pointing toward that it is that I won't be. I mean, I'll still be surprised, but like it's like Warner Brothers. They want this movie to come out so bad. They spent over $200 million on a movie like that. It's just, I know it's Nolan, but it's just like, that's interesting that I don't know. They just, There's just something about the movie. They seem like they know something we don't. But if I had to call it, I don't think it is a sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there could be like hidden layers in it. Like the way Tenet put that Batman sticker on the door of the apartment for The Following in his first film.
Yeah.
Like, but that's just because Nolan's a big fan of Batman. But there's like, he hides things in his films, but it's not like they're all completely connected.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Okay. Oh, this is a good question from Zeke Gonzalez and Zaldi asking, what was your first job and did you enjoy it? Amy, what was your first job and did you enjoy it?
Well, when I was in middle school, I was an assistant for the after-school daycare.
Whoa.
Like all of the kids, but like all I did was pass out snacks and that's it. But my first real job that I got paid for, I was a cashier at Dunkin' Donuts, and it was the worst thing ever.
But you got free donuts.
I did get free donuts. I got free coffee. I got a lot of free stuff. I worked in retail for 6 years, and it's the worst. I hate it so much.
Yeah, I don't envy you there. That is not great.
No, I remember like when you first moved to LA and you were working at GameStop, and you would tell me how much you hated it.
This is a nightmare. Well, yeah, especially because it's like that store during the holiday season is literally the worst place on earth. Like it's just everyone's going in trying to buy games for their kids and whatever. And they're like, well, I don't know, but like he wants like this, like Mario. And I'm like, okay, I really don't know what to suggest to you. Here's like a shelf of Mario games. Go fucking like pick one. I don't know. And it's like because they come in and it's like they don't want to just like buy stuff. It's like they want your recommendation. It's like, okay, well, I can recommend good games. Like that's fine. I can do that all day long. But it's like, well, he doesn't really like that sort of thing, or she doesn't like. I don't know. Like, should I get the Switch? I'm like, I don't know. Sure, go. Yes, do it. Can I like please go? It's just.
At the restaurant, man, it's just like when people ask for recommendations, it's just like read the menu. Just read the menu. Come on.
Like it's the same way movies are a personal preference. So is your taste in food. Like I hate tomatoes, and everyone I know finds that extremely weird.
Yep. Yeah. No, it's well, okay, to be fair, I don't like tomatoes either. Like I like grape tomatoes and I enjoy those in like a nice salad, but like outside of that, you're not going to find me putting slices of tomatoes on.
I like ketchup and marinara sauce. That's
the extent of your tomato intake. Well,
maybe the weird one is I hate bananas. I can't stand anything banana.
That's shocking.
Except for banana bread with chocolate chips. That's the extent of my banana.
That's unacceptable. No, I'm just kidding. I can't believe it. But you like banana bread.
I like banana bread, but it has to have like chocolate chips in it. It has to have like the chocolate.
It has to have chocolate. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, okay. I don't know. That's interesting. Do you like bananas like in stuff? Like outside of like the bread and whatnot? Like say you had a smoothie and there was a banana in it. Would you not
if it has like a bunch of other stuff in it, like a strawberry banana smoothie with like extra strawberries? But I really absolutely hate bananas.
Interesting.
So you're okay with banana? It's just got to be like there can be no traces of the banana.
Yeah, completely masked.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy, but that's really interesting. Tyler, what was your first job and did you hate it?
Oh yeah, I was at a video store called Family Video. I was there for like 4 days.
Oh, okay. You worked at Family Video. Okay, nice. Yeah,
fun. I thought it'd be a lot of fun because everyone was like, "Yeah, work in a movie store," but I don't know. Maybe it was just the way the place was run. I just did not like it at all. But
I think that's interesting because it's like, I feel like sometimes when you take jobs in like places that it's like, oh, I love going to the video store. It doesn't mean like working at a video store is like fun. I mean, like obviously there are different cases where it's like, I don't know, maybe the managers are good there and whatnot, but like, I know because like when you're a kid you're always like I could maybe sure I'll get a job at like Blockbuster down the when Blockbuster was a thing, but like it's like okay, I'll get a job at Blockbuster down the road, and it's like you get it and you're like no, this is awful. I have to organize it and everyone just like throws DVDs on the ground. They put like the horror movie in the sci-fi section or the like period piece dramas in like the I don't know animated section, and it's just like oh god, come on.
When I worked in the clothing store, all these like 16-year-old girls would come in and be like, I love shopping here so much. Like, can I please get a job? And then if they do end up getting hired for like the Black Friday rush, they're like, I hate this so much. Like, why did I do this? I'm like, I told you when you applied that people mess this store up little kids will climb into the bottom of the table and just pull back stock out and throw it all over the floor. Like, it's not a glamorous job. You don't get that much of a discount. It's not that fun. Like, service industry is shit work. Everyone should do it at least once in their life so they can be grateful for the people that actually do work in the service industry.
Yeah.
PSA, work in the service industry for at least 3 months.
There you go. I think for me, my first job was I was pretty fortunate because I had a dad who like was an entrepreneur, or not dad. I had a friend whose dad was an entrepreneur and like sold a bunch of shit. And so it was like I was cool with their family and I knew him and he was like really fun to work with. And so I just like did Excel spreadsheets, sold LED lights, and I got paid under the table and I got paid pretty well. So like it was, of all the first jobs I could have had, that was a really good one. And it was easy. And it was only during the summer, I think. Maybe I did a few shifts like outside of the summer. But yeah, no, I did that for a couple of years and that was fun. But thanks for the question. That was a good one. All right. Going back here. I've seen this one in here a few times. John Russo asking, what do you guys think of the Blues Brothers and Blues Brothers 2000? I love the Blues Brothers. I don't think I've seen Blues Brothers 2000, nor am I really interested in seeing it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think, Amy?
I've never seen either of them.
Yeah, same as Tyler. I haven't seen either of them, which I know one of my friends is a huge Blues Brothers fan. And he's like, why haven't you seen that? And he quotes it all the time. Yeah. But I'm like, it's just a movie that I haven't seen. Yeah, I mean,
well, I don't know. The first one is really, really good. Like it's iconic, and it's I don't know. There's obviously the moments that everyone like quotes and like whatever. But like, yeah, I agree. It's at least worth a watch once. But
you know what? The only reason I know like my Blues Brothers knowledge comes from the Drake and Josh episode.
Oh yeah.
That's about as much as I know about that. So
yeah, for sure. Josephine DeMarco in here asking, have any of you watched Shirley?
Not seen, no.
I have not, so I can't comment. I'm sorry. Ken asking, Alien versus Aliens, which is your fave? I think we got this question like maybe last week or a couple weeks ago. I said Alien because I just prefer Ridley Scott's take on that. Love Aliens. It's a great action movie. And like if you're going to do a sequel, I think that's an interesting way to go in a completely different direction. But I don't know, the lore, the mythology, the horror elements, I don't know, that to me was more interesting. And I just like the style in which Scott did it, which is probably why I don't hate the Alien prequels. So, but Amy, do you which one do you prefer?
I go back and forth on this all the time, but I really like Alien. Always does stick with me a lot more, and I've watched it I think more than I've watched Aliens. Yeah, but yeah, I love Alien. I love Alien and Aliens so much. Like Sigourney Weaver is one of my favorite actresses, and I think I would have to go with Alien. Yeah.
Tyler, I think I don't. Were you on the last one when you answered this one? No,
Prometheus. Yeah, I love that one. But out of the two, I would probably pick. It's probably Aliens. Probably Aliens.
Yeah,
because I love Alien, and I did watch it recently when it went back to the theater last year. It's really good, but it takes a long time for it to get going.
Prometheus. Yet you like Prometheus.
Yeah, it's much more like the mythology was just much more interesting. Alien, they were just on the ship, like just messing around for a little too long. But it's still good. Like I like it, but I just don't think it's like the best.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I do think Alien is like my favorite horror film of all time.
That's a good. No, it's up there for me too. And it's so weird because it's like that's another one where it's like obviously I should classify it as a horror film because it's a horror film, but I don't inherently go, oh yeah, that's a horror film.
Yeah.
But
it's like Jaws where it's kind of like a thriller as well. It's a very suspenseful thriller, but it's also a horror film. Yeah, completely agree. Okay, Surround 71 asking, what is a movie you guys love that has a rotten score on Rotten Tomatoes? A goofy movie. Does that have a rotten score? I think it's a 35. I think it's at 35% right now.
Yeah, I can't say I'm surprised, but it's a good one. I don't know, Tyler.
I mean, there's so many. There's so many.
Your favorite movies of all time might all be rotten on Rotten Tomatoes.
They might be. Yeah. I would. Meet Joe Black is rotten stupid. Holy crap! Yeah, it's like a 50-something%. That's ridiculous.
It's not good. It's not good.
Ryan O'Toole's in the chat. He could probably tell us what the Rotten Tomatoes score is of all of these.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Ryan. If you're still watching this, definitely let us know what your what the score is for all of these. So okay, so you say Meet Joe Black. Okay, if you had to go with one outside of Meet Joe Black, because I know that's your go-to for everything.
I guess because I just recently watched them, like the Transformer, at least like I'll just go Transformers 3 because I think that movie's like legitimately good. Like 1 and 3, they're both rotten. Like they're not fresh. Even the first one's like rotten. So
it's like barely rotten.
Kind of surprising.
It's like 57. Yeah,
57. I can't remember what Dark of the Moon is. It might be in the 40s, but like I think those are both like really, really good movies. So
Dark. Yeah. I don't hate those. My go-to is obviously Assassin's Creed because I'm a weirdo who enjoys that film. But like Tron Legacy is rotten.
Oh, that's a good one, dude. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah.
Oblivion, Joseph Kosinski again.
Kosinski, man, I love him.
Yeah, I love him too.
Yeah.
There's so many like old 90s movies and like even like classic films that have like older films from like the 50s and 60s that have rotten scores, but they're like considered classics.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Some guy just said the second and third Pirates of the Caribbean. Eric said that, that's like
those are
holy moly, those are great.
Those are
Pirates of the Caribbean 1 through 3. Like that's where the trilogy should have been the trilogy, and that's where it should have ended. Yeah. We're done. Nothing else. Yeah,
it's like now go make other pirate movies that aren't part of this. No,
although I am very excited for Margot Robbie being in the new Pirates of the Caribbean reboot, which is like they're doing 2 reboots at the same time. Apparently.
Yeah, the one
confusing.
With what is it? Karen Gillan, and then Margot Robbie, right?
Yeah.
I just can't get excited for those at all. Like, to me, Pirates is not. You need Jack Sparrow, I'm just like. Mm-hmm. It just makes me nervous.
Nobody's gonna hire Johnny Depp now, though.
Yeah, I know. God, that's just a mess. But I'm excited for the Margot one more than the Karen one. I think. Well, because it's Margot Robbie.
Yeah, it's with Margot Robbie and the writer Birds of Prey, and I absolutely love Birds of Prey. Yeah. It's fantastic. Yeah. So I'm really excited to see if they can bring that spirit into Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. That definitely does get me more excited for that one. But I agree with you. The other one, Tomorrow Never Dies, the Bond film. I love that one. And then there was another one I had on the damn it, I just had it and I can't remember it now. But there's a lot of them. For Tyler, Butterfly Effect, I know is a.
Well, no, I was gonna say that one. That one's like super low, but I think it's a great movie.
Yeah, it's good. It's fun. Okay, gonna take a few more questions here, guys. So start sending in your last couple of questions, and we'll try and close this out here. Okay, let's see. What the heck is? Okay, well, here you go. Would you ever eat a vegetable? Yes, I do regularly.
No, would you ever be a vegetable?
Oh, would you ever be? I thought I said eat, and I was like, well, yeah, of course, I do.
I've been, I've been a vegetable every day since quarantine started, but.
Oh, yeah, good point. I didn't think of it that way, but that's a good one. Okay, Josephine DeMarco asking, between Jackrabbit Slims from Pulp Fiction, Mel's Diner from American Graffiti, Krusty Krab, Good Burger, and Pizza Planet, which movie or TV restaurant would you rather wait tables at? What that is interesting. Not would you rather eat at? Would rather wait tables at.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I guess Pizza Planet. You're not really waiting tables. So...
No, it's like you're kind of at like a Chuck E. Cheese-ish place. I'd just be taking tickets from sticky fingered kids.
Yeah, that's true. I definitely wouldn't be Krusty Krab because you'd be abused, like the working conditions there.
I would be Squidward if I worked at the Krusty Krab.
I would be Squidward too. Yeah, for sure. Tyler, do you have a choice?
It's hard. I want to say Krusty Krab because I love SpongeBob, but the working conditions are just they're not ideal.
It would be fun to work at Good Burger.
Yeah, Good Burger. Well, but isn't that just like working at?
Yeah, it would just be like working
McDonald's.
at McDonald's.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Probably Mel's Diner and American Graffiti. I feel like that's like the safest choice. It's Pulp Fiction, and that's stressful.
like, are you working there during Pulp Fiction, or are you just working there in general? Because like, if you're working there in like during Pulp Fiction, I would not want to work there.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. No, Amy, I'd have to go with you, Pizza Planet, because you're not like, I mean, the kids obviously that's a lot. I don't know if I'd be able to do that, but it's also it seems
plus pizza.
Yeah, plus pizza. I guess that's true. All right. There was a question actually that we got at the top of the show, which was like, what are your favorite movies of the year so far? I meant to bring that in earlier, but so I guess like for you guys, you know, we're like, I guess at the midpoint of 2020, obviously the cinematic year has been something. It has been something else to say the least. So for you both, what are like your top 5 favorite films of 2020 so far? Starting with you, Amy.
Well, I saw it. It came out in 2019, but I saw it in 2020, like right at the top of the year is Uncut Gems. I am like obsessed with Uncut Gems, and I saw Tyler's poster. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I also saw Birds of Prey. I love Birds of Prey.
Yep.
And then one that I don't think a lot of people saw, and I absolutely love, is Lucky Grandma. It's a Chinese film.
Okay.
I think it's set in like Chinatown in New York, but it's like about this grandma who goes and plays casino games and wins a lot of, or like, I don't want to spoil it, but she gets a lot of money, and it's well worth it. I think it's on VOD. You can rent it, but it's interesting. It's an interesting movie. It's very funny and it's very sweet.
Okay. Interesting. That's like the whole concept just sounds really cool. So yeah,
but like, definitely Palm Springs is probably my favorite movie of the year so far.
Yeah, Palm Springs. Yeah, that's definitely up there for me. Tyler, what do you got?
So I still haven't seen a lot, man. Like Five Bloods, Staten Island, Paul. I haven't seen a lot of movies.
Oh God, you haven't seen those films?
I know, you know. I waited because I thought the theaters would open this month, and I was like, oh, they're probably going to play those movies when the theaters open. But now I need to watch because they're not going to open. So my top 3 right now, though, The Invisible Man, which will be hard to, top if nothing else comes out because that was just a great movie. Onward, and you know what? I like Sonic the Hedgehog, so Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh my God!
I've watched it a couple times. It's just a fun movie.
I think that was the last movie I saw in theaters. That
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic or Emma. I can't remember which one I saw last.
Yeah.
The Way Back is after that. That was the last one I saw. That was really good.
I think The Way Back was the last one I saw in theaters too. For me, my top 5 is The Five Bloods, The Invisible Man, Palm Springs, The Way Back, and Relic. So, really weird year, but like, I mean, you know, some of the movies that we've been getting, they're not awful. Like, they're actually surprisingly good. No. I thought we were just gonna get trash for the rest of the years, but it's you know, it's been all right. And it's kind of piggybacking off of that. Ryan has a question here asking, well, first of all, he hates tomatoes, which is ironic because he likes Rotten Tomatoes.
Right.
But he's asking, who's your favorite performances? What are your favorite performances of the year so far? I think for me, Delroy Lindo in The Five Bloods is literally.
That was so good.
Yeah, it's I think that is, across the board, that might be my favorite performance of the year. Just like everyone included. I mean, Elizabeth Moss in The Invisible Man she's mine. Yeah, she's incredible. But then also, like, I don't know, Ben Affleck in The Way Back is really good too. So, but yeah, those would probably be my top 3. I don't know. Amy, outside of Delroy, do you have a favorite performance?
Honestly, I can't think of anything. I'm looking at my list of all the movies that I've seen so far. You know, I actually kind of, it's not going to win any awards, but I really like Daniel Radcliffe's performance in Guns Akimbo.
Oh yeah.
He's like insane, and it's such a weird and funny and like out there movie.
Yeah.
I need to see that.
Someone said Margot in Birds of Prey, and I agree. She did a great job.
Yeah, Margot in Birds of Prey and Ewan in Birds of Prey.
Oh, Ewan was so good.
It's so good. So good. Tyler, do you have your favorite performance?
Yeah, Elizabeth Moss is my favorite from The Invisible Man, and then kind of a weird one. I have a weird relationship with the movie, but Riley Keough and The Lodge I thought was also really good.
Dude, your whole like how that movie has grown on you is one of the most interesting
it's
things.
Weird, man. Because I didn't really like it when I saw it with you. It was like, that was weird. That was kind of like depressing, but it just kind of stuck with me. I was like, man, it's a pretty good movie.
It just kind of like sits there and festers.
But I need to see, like, I think I'm going to love Delroy Lindo. I hope Pete Davidson is good in The King of Staten Island. Bill Burr, I heard, is great. So, like, there's still a lot of movies
I did really like Bill Burr's performance in King of Staten Island.
He irritated the living hell out of me. Like, I don't know why. I just hated the character so much.
Oh, yeah. But I think that's, like, that speaks to Bill Burr's performance.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. But I was just like, you are a piece of shit and I hate you. But no, I agree. You're right. Pete Davidson is good in that. I would actually say that Pete Davidson is better in Big Time Adolescence, though. I think Big Time Adolescence it might be a better.
That was a really good movie.
Staten Island. Yeah.
It was a good movie.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, we're going to take a few more questions here, guys. So start sending in your last questions. Again, Super Chat is available to you. Not required, but it does support the channel, so we would appreciate that. Okay, Deep in the Film Score asking, how do you rank the Ben Affleck directed movies? Okay. Good question. Does anyone have their ranking on the top of their head? I got to pull it up real quick.
Yeah, I would have to see a list of all of the films that he's directed.
Yeah.
I would go Live by Night is like my least favorite. And then I think he only did two other ones. Or no, he did Argo.
Yeah.
And I would go Argo, The Town, Gone Baby Gone. I think Gone Baby Gone is the best movie, probably.
Gone Baby Gone is really good.
It's a really, really great movie.
Yeah, but yeah, for sure. Live by Night is easily his worst.
Yeah. I love the other three. Like The Town's also great. Like it's a great movie.
I think the only of his directed films I've seen is Argo, and that was a while back, and I don't remember any of it.
Yeah, Argo's good. I think for me, it would go in order from best to worst. It would be The Town, Argo, Gone Baby Gone, and then Live by Night. But again, Argo and Gone Baby Gone probably swap back and forth a few times. I don't know. The Town to me is just, first of all, I love heist movies, and I'm like, that feels like a great like homage to like you know, Michael Mann while still being its own thing. But like, fuck, is that so good? And Rebecca Hall and Jeremy Renner are unbelievable in that movie. They are so good. So yeah, The Town is definitely my favorite for sure. Okay, let's see. All right, Papayas and Peas asking, if you were to watch one movie for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Fellowship of the Ring.
Really? Not one of the Harry Potters?
Mm-mm. I watch Fellowship of the Ring at least once a week.
What? Wow.
Yeah, when I was in film school, I would edit to the trilogy.
Oh, that's
like
kind of
I would have it on
amazing.
in the background, and I still do that sometimes. I'll like put it on in the especially now that I have the extended edition. I'll put it on in the background and just let it play while I edit, or just play in the background.
I will say that is the best Lord of the Rings movie. I do. You think
Fellowship is?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Two Towers is my favorite, but Fellowship is just like I know that movie inside and out.
Yeah. Yeah, that is good. I do agree. Like, I think Fellowship, Two Towers is my favorite, but I think Fellowship has like some of the best moments in the entire trilogy. Like, especially when they're all together. Like, that's the only time you see them all together. So it's like the Mines of Moria. Obviously, that's unbelievable. And then like
the battle scene at the end with Boromir, like,
so good. But then like the stuff at the beginning where they're like trying to escape the Shire and stuff. So yeah, it's
one of my favorite match cuts of all time is when the Wraiths are like in the Hobbit's room and they're stabbing the bed, and then it cuts to Sam waking up.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
It's like one of my favorite match cuts of all time.
That's so good. That is so good. Yeah, that's good. That's interesting. I thought for sure you would have gone with one of the Potters, but Fellowship is a good choice.
Like, if I had them all like condensed and I could watch all 8 and forever, that I would pick that. But Fellowship is, especially like recently, I've been watching it like at least once a week because it's a movie that makes me happy. It makes me feel comfortable.
Yeah.
It's like a blanket.
No, that's a good one. That's good. Tyler, what's yours?
I mean, it's hard because I want to pick like a Harry Potter or like, Back to the Future, because those are like really two great
Back
movies.
to the Future is a good one.
Yeah, but the problem is like when I watch those movies, I immediately want to watch like Back to the Future Part 2 or like the next Harry Potter movie. So I feel like I have to go with like just a movie that tells a single story. I'd probably go with I don't know if either of you've seen this, but The Count of Monte Cristo. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. So I would go with that one. Yeah,
that's fun.
If I had to pick a standalone though, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I think for me, I would go Raiders, just because that like it's like the quintessential just like action adventure movie, great characters, great music, great just like.
I mean, that could be a standalone on its own too. Like you
absolutely.
watch something, you don't have to go see like you don't have to watch the other two because the fourth one's not real. Yeah,
for sure, for sure. Because it's like if it's a movie I'm gonna watch forever, like it has to like I don't want it to be too heavy. I just want it to be like pulpy and fun and like adventure movies are usually the best choice for that. So, but yeah, no, I think I'd go Raiders on that one. Fun question though. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. Eric Thorpe here asking human characters that made you most scared every time they are on screen. For me, it's Ramsay Bolton in Game of Thrones. That's a good one. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta think about this for a second.
Human character.
Tyler, did you have one?
Ooh, Professor Umbridge.
Oh, Umbridge is a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
It's also like combined with the score for her character. Like her character's theme is like this beautiful, like bubblegummy kind of sound, and I'm just like, God.
I know.
Coupled with her, like the way she looks and her office, and just
that's a good one.
I would go. This is a weird choice, but it just popped in my head. The first thing. Have any of you seen Out of the Furnace or no? Well, Woody Harrelson, he plays like the villain in that movie. He's like that might be his best performance of all time. Like he's just so scary in that movie.
Yeah.
So,
as a kid, I just saw someone just like. Was talking about Star Wars, and as a kid, I don't think I even watched it, but Darth Maul. Like I would see trailers for that, and Darth Maul would just scare the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, I don't even can I say the guys in the Peter Jackson's King Kong, the island people.
Yeah, those dudes freak me out.
That was my go-to. That was so freaking scary, dude.
Yeah, that's a scary scene, man.
That is like, that's why I like for the longest time struggled to revisit that movie because it's like, oh, well, I'm gonna have to watch this sequence, and that is not fun for a movie that I absolutely love. But I would probably go with them. Sure, I'm
looking at my shelf, and I see my Omen collection. Damien.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. That's a good pick. Too.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Okay, a few more questions here, guys. So keep sending them in. Let's see. If there's one that you guys say that you want me to choose, let me know. But let's see. Okay, this one I've seen in here. Saul John, what is the most frustration cancellation of a show? For me, it's Daredevil. You see where it's going in season 4 with seeing a full-blown bullseye, although season 3 was still a satisfying conclusion. Yeah, Daredevil's frustrating because there was definitely still some juice left in the tank, and it was really, season 3 is a masterpiece in my opinion, but this is controversial, but like Heroes, I struggle with it because like season 4 is not good.
No, I think, I'm with you there. I have the first 4 seasons, not Reborn, on DVD, and I love the first 2 seasons. Season 3 is okay. Season 4 is just.
They didn't know what they were doing in season 4. Yeah, I don't know that it's. Had it actually, I don't know. It's a weird situation because it's like had they kind of corrected the course maybe I mean it probably would have gotten more seasons and whatnot, but like it felt like with season 4 they literally had no idea.
Yeah, the circus thing was just so weird.
So weird. Yeah, it's like all
I need
the
to
characters...
revisit that show. I haven't watched it in a couple of years. I started rewatching Lost for the 4th time, and I think last night I was like, I should probably go back and rewatch Heroes.
Yeah, I love Heroes so much because especially that first season. That first season is genuinely
great.
One of the best. Like,
speaking of people, like human characters that scared me, Zachary Quinto as Sylar is terrifying.
Yeah,
especially because you don't see him, and it's a totally different person voicing him in the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, I agree. He was one that really did get under my skin. Oh, another one was that Jason Isaacs show on NBC, Awake. It just had 1 season, but it was like, oh my God, the concept was genius. It was really emotional. It felt like way better than anything network television deserves. So it's like, first of all, the fact that it was on network TV, I'm just kind of like, wow, all right, cool. But
one show that I think if it had gotten canceled, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. When I heard that it got canceled, I was so upset, but I'm really, really glad that the NBC bought it and brought it back.
Yeah.
And I will be very upset if they do cancel it now because of like all of the stuff that's happening. But
yeah, for sure. Tyler, what's your the one that you're upset about?
I think for me, the one that was like the biggest blow was when I was a kid, man. Kyle XY. When that show was on.
Oh my God.
Like the biggest cliffhanger ever, and then it's like, we're done.
I don't remember the end of season 3, but I was so upset when they canceled Kyle XY.
Yeah, it was just a huge blow. But, you know, it's funny. Netflix is kind of like, they're so weird with what they cancel. Like, they're doing a lot, like, they renewed a lot of shows, but they're only getting, like, you know, like Ozark, they were like, you're only getting 1 more season, though. They do that a lot to shows where they kind of just give them 1 more season and they're forced to like, in them.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that ended.
I still haven't watched the newest season of Sabrina, and I came out hardcore loving that show. I still like that show. I just haven't had a chance to watch the most recent season. Yeah. But I'm kind of sad that it's coming to an end. Yeah,
I watched a few episodes. I didn't really particularly like it, but I thought it was super, super popular. So I don't really know what... Netflix is just weird. You don't know. The only thing we know that's really popular is Stranger Things. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't know, what else.
Really and that's got an end date, but that's only because of the Duffers. They're we're putting an end date on this. Yeah.
Like, there's going to be spinoffs for sure, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to milk that thing until they can't anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good. Okay, we'll take 2 more questions here really quickly. Whoops. Shoot, I lost it. Okay, well, 2 more questions. Jaren Talks Movies asking, rank your top 3 burger places, and is In-N-Out actually that good? I need to know. In-N-Out is really good. It's not my favorite burger place, but it's good.
I don't eat red meat, so.
Yeah. I think for me...
If I go to In-N-Out, which I do love In-N-Out, I usually get their grilled cheese.
Yeah.
But... I love In-N-Out.
Yeah.
I'm also a basic bitch, so.
Well, I mean, listen, In-N-Out, I don't think it's bad. It's good and it's cheap, so it's like
yeah.
For what you pay for it is actually really good. I think for me, shit.
I do like Five Guys. I do like Five Guys.
Yeah, I was about to say Five Guys is really good. Shake Shack is good.
I love Shake Shack. Their chicken sandwiches are amazing.
Yeah. And if you guys ever been to Stout's really good.
Mm-mm.
I've never been to no.
Oh God, Stout.
Griff, you might know this place. God, what was it? Scotty's. It's local
Scotty's.
to Indiana. I love Scotty's so much, but it's an Indiana chain, I believe.
I think they went out of business, if I'm not mistaken, didn't they?
No, they still have one on the Butler campus, I believe, because my middle sister went to school there. My parents go and eat there a lot.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I love
Smash Burgers. Smash Burger's pretty good too.
Smash Burger's pretty good. You know, I had gosh, I can't speak. I had Wahlburgers.
How was it?
Really? I've wanted to try that.
It's okay. So it's okay.
If I were to, I've been wanting to go to In-N-Out and get a hamburger, but I'm just it's probably going to destroy me because I haven't eaten red meat in probably 6 years.
Oh, damn. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe it would. I don't know.
Either that or you're going to be
destroy you.
Oh my gosh.
I need to start eating red meat again.
Yeah, it just becomes crack. Yeah. Tyler, this question is specifically for you.
I was hoping you pull it.
Okay, Tyler, this is specifically for you.
Man, there's quite a few. Go down the list, man.
Go down the list. Is it just something that happens all the time to you?
It's just like, I don't know. It's just like a magnet, man.
You're a wedgie magnet. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm really sorry to hear that.
There's a good one here. Is, what are some of your interests other than movies?
That was actually the one I was going to end on. That I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's that one? Yeah. Okay. So for Pie and Peas, question: what are some of your interests other than movies? And for Tyler, receiving wedgies. So yeah, Amy, what are some of your interests outside movies?
I mean, I live my life by movies. Yeah. I've really been starting to get into music a little bit more. I used to be like obsessed with music before I got into film, but like all I do is like edit videos, watch movies, watch TV. God, yeah. Puzzles. I like puzzles.
Gotten really into puzzles? Yeah.
Puzzles. This is like my favorite puzzle. Yeah, puzzles, board games.
I've been playing a lot of board games under quarantine. I don't think I've ever played this many board games in my life. I'm being honest.
They're fun though, right? They're pretty fun.
They're pretty fun. They're pretty fun, man. It gets pretty competitive when we break out Monopoly, and it's not fun. No, it never ends well.
I'm really bad at Monopoly because there's always only like one thing that I want, and whenever I buy that thing, I'm done. You know, it's like I already won. To me, I already won.
I downloaded Monopoly on the Switch, and I was like just playing the computer.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, this is so hard.
It's not easy. It's not easy. You gotta strategize and all that stuff. But
I like being the banker and like stealing money.
You'd be good at Cheaters Monopoly then. That is yeah. Tyler, what are your? Well, I know, but what are some of your interests outside of movies?
Yeah, I do like music. I tried to go to a lot of concerts back when those were open. I do like to read now. I read a lot. Just got a bike recently. Do that a lot now. Gym, like Griffin. Try to go to the gym a lot. Just basic stuff. I like to get to board games though.
Well, come over and play some board games sometime, man.
Dude, I know, man.
The invite is extended to all of you. That would be fun. No, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, you have been really into reading on your Instagram. You shat on Jim Carrey's memoir. How dare you?
It's bad. It's really bad. It's not. Yeah, like it's not. I thought it would be a memoir about his life, but it's kind of like he's trying to be like a Michel Gondry or Spike Jonze, and it's like a memoir on a fictionalized version of himself. Yeah. It's just weird, really weird. But yeah, I'm trying to do a thing where I read a book a week for the year, so I just have to hit 52, and I'm gonna hit it. I'm just kind of getting close. So
well, that's good. I envy you. I can't sit down and read. I have to listen to audiobooks, and I don't even do that.
It's fine.
Yeah, I've been trying to like. I bought it before It Chapter 2 came out. I think I got like 50 pages in, and I'm just like, I can't do it. I read the first Jurassic Park book and Pet Sematary last year, and that's the most I've read that's not Harry Potter in probably 10 years.
Oh wow, yeah. It's hard to find the time to do it. I mean, you really do have to carve out time, and I guess now is a good time.
But like whenever I do start reading, I fall asleep. Like I'm that old lady that falls asleep.
Yep, I do too, and that's why I have to do audiobooks because I just can't. I can't do it that way. It's frustrating because I wish it's one of those things. Just like I wish I was into it more than I actually am, and I wish I was like could do it more than I do. But yeah, for sure. But
as a kid, as a kid, I read like constantly. Like I was like a reader up until like high school.
Yeah.
The worst is like they see people like at work see me do I post them on Instagram the books I read, and like I've had multiple people come up. Like, oh, like I really want to get into reading. Like, can you recommend me like 10 books? But like, those people are never going to read anything. So it's it's just kind of like those people are like annoying. So you're not.
Yeah. It's like one of those things. Like, oh, I really want to.
Yeah, it's like whatever.
Yeah. I think for myself, interests. Obviously music, working out. I mean, sports. Like I follow like the NHL and the NFL.
I
of course.
I do love football.
Yeah. And then like college sports too. I mean, I know that's kind of like pretty niche, but like I love watching college basketball and college football too.
College football's the best.
Yeah, college football. I think sometimes I prefer college football over the NFL.
Me too.
But yeah, and then oh God, why am I blanking? Drinking.
That's become a new hobby of mine in quarantine too.
Oh yeah, just like one of those like, oh well, might as well.
I have like a collection of wine bottles and like empty White Claw cans.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you've become the wine connoisseur now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been getting into wine and White Claw.
Yeah. It's just one of those things that happens. But yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for the questions. Those were all really, really great. And that was an excellent one to end on. Before we close out, I do want to kind of just like tease something I've been working on a little bit. So this show, as you know, the live Q&A stuff that we do every Saturday, I'm working on turning into like a weekly kind of like every other day show during the week. Where we'll have like some news topics that have already been determined. You guys can submit some stuff, which I'm also working on a Patreon, which is going to like link into that. And then we'll go from there. We'll incorporate like live questions and whatnot, but it'll be a little bit more structured. I love doing these, and I think that if I like structured it into like a proper show, it would be more beneficial for you guys because you get more than one episode a week. I can bring on multiple guests during the week and whatnot. And so that's just sort of like teasing what I'm having in the works. I've been talking a lot with like Zach Pope about it because I know he has wanted to do something similar. And so we'll probably kind of like make this show or whatever. So just any of you who are watching right now, that's sort of what I'm aiming to do with the live Q&As. But for now, you can always expect these every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. But thank you to my two guests for joining me. It's really, really been a pleasure and a lot of fun. Amy, let everyone know where people can find you.
You can find me on the movie checklist here on YouTube, or you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at NotAmyK, or you can check out my podcast, The Nostalgia Effect, where me and a couple of friends talk about movies from our childhood through the lens of adulthood. Plus, we do some other things, like we just did a watch-along movie night for Batman Forever, which was really, really fun.
Yeah, I've been meaning to rewatch Batman Forever since Schumacher passed. It's just been... I've always had like kind of a soft spot for that film, even though it's like I have big issues with it, but
yeah, it was the first time I had watched it, and well, I thought I had seen it, but I hadn't. It was very weird, and we spent the entire time trying to figure out if I had watched it or not, and I think we came to the conclusion that what I had remembered from it was a mix of Batman and Robin plus a CinemaSins video.
That's funny. But yeah, definitely go check out her stuff. She does a lot of great, insightful content. And then also, like, if you guys like older movies or like Criterion type films or classic movies, she does a lot of like breakdowns and reviews of those over on her channel, doing the 1001 kind of like films you should watch before you die. So yeah, definitely go subscribe to her channel. And then, as always, Mr. Tyler Tompkins, thank you for taking time out of your day to do this and grace us with your presence. Where can everyone find you?
Yeah, Twitter, Instagram, searching Tyler Tompkins, and then of course Letterboxd. I track everything I watch on there. I think I just hit 200 movies this year so far. So
fuck,
quite a bit. Yeah, quarantine definitely helped with that. But yeah, I track everything I watch on there. So definitely fun.
Awesome. Good stuff. Well, guys, as always, definitely go give them a follow. Go check out all the stuff that they have going on. They're amazing voices in the space. But lastly, guys, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the FilmSpeak channel for more weekly live Q&As, for movie reviews. I have an interview with Kristen Milioti coming out probably tomorrow or Monday for Palm Springs. That was a blast. You're definitely going to want to stay tuned for that. But as always, guys, you can like FilmSpeak on Facebook, follow us on Twitter simply by searching FilmSpeak. And lastly, if you like me specifically and you like what I have to say, you can give me a follow on Twitter at Griff Schiller. All right. It has been a great one, and I will catch you guys next time. Take care.
Did you rub my land?
Thousands of generations living here now.
Here we go.